just a really quick video for anyone that needs to change the crankshaft pulley on a BMW 3-litre diesel X5 2011. This one is. So I've removed the two air intake pipes over the top and the cross beam that runs across. Now the cross beam, it has the bonnet release cable here held into it, two air conditioning pipes, an upper and a lower, and the same here, it's clipped in upper and a lower. Now what I've done to save me taking off all of the engine under trays and everything to get to it, I've removed the cooling fan, the electric cooling fan. Now it's quite easy to do. When you look, I'll put the torch on. The upper part is spring loaded, so you just push that inwards and the fan pulls up, and then exactly the same that side. The upper part is spring loaded. However, the bit that fits in there hits this coolant pipe coming up and it won't come past it. But luckily enough, BMW have helped us out, and on the side of the fan itself they've actually created a little hinge for that bracket, so you can get it past. So it gives us plenty of room, and I'll show you inside. There we go. That's what you need to get the pulley off, and then the tensioner is just there, just above it. So I'm going to get the old broken pulley off, make sure it matches up with the new one that I've got, which is down there. You see the rubber damper has completely given up, and the new one, that was £180. I bought that online from a company called Parts in Motion in the UK. So yep, let's get this fitted. So there's the old pulley off of it. It's held on by 4 of these bolts, which are E12. I managed to get 2 of them out with my little Makita impact gun, because there is enough room down there just, but the other 2 were too tight, and as I was trying to undo it, the crankshaft was turning. So I used a big pair of grips to hold that part, and obviously the ratchet, nice long ratchet, 3/8 drive with the E12 bit on it to crack them off, and then it came off. Once the bolts were out, little wiggle either side, and the pulley came straight off. So just make sure that the old one and the new one look the same, which they do. They're the same height, same depth, same diameter, so all good. I'll clean that up and they can go back on again. I'm going to use the original bolts, and I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite on the end of the thread just to make sure it's all good. There's the part number of the pulley that I used. Right, pulley's on, belt is on. The hardest thing I just found of the whole job was actually putting that belt back on again. So I put the belt on everywhere, except as you follow it down from the alternator, there's an idler just there. I left it off of that idler, and then with a 16mm socket like that on the tensioner, you can pull the tensioner this way and it takes, you can see it moving there. So there's not much free play in the system, and you have to make sure that the belt is perfectly on all of the ribbed pulleys, otherwise you can't get it on the idler down there. That probably took me 5 minutes of swearing to get that on, but I think that's the hardest bit so far. There we go, all done and dusted, back together. Not a bad job to do, to be honest. And final step, don't forget to clear the fault codes out of the modules inside the car, because it will have low voltage fault codes where the crank pulley failed and obviously the alternator wasn't running. So there's quite a few low voltage fault codes in different systems around the vehicle. So I've cleared all of them, give it a quick road test, and all done and dusted.